What's good, YouTube? We're back today with another market watch, and I know the ban list has been going crazy. A lot of things have happened today, but it seems you have only until November 3rd in order to get your Linkuribohs. That's 3 days. Robbie had mentioned they'll mention a 3-day cutoff. Linkuriboh had been decided, and you only have until November 3rd. As you see, when you purchase the 12-month membership, you receive not only 48 digital issues of manga, so we're going full weeb, but 4 exclusive Yu-Gi-Oh cards mailed to your home. If you think Linkuriboh's not going to be in the meta at all, oh, it is such a transitional, important piece. Grinder Golem combos show it. We've seen like a Grinder Golem Infernoid common from our combo from D Summon that is insane. But if you want to save yourself some money on the sign up, you see how it's $26 here? How about you save yourself $5 with code SJDVDBR16? You save $5 off your subscription. I'm getting nothing from this. This is me trying to save you guys money should you want this. And you get 3 other promos with that Linkuriboh. That's pretty insane. So you don't have to worry about signing up in the future should they announce another insane, say, Security Dragon promo or something like that. So you definitely want to use this code, save yourself some money. This is for you. This is viz.com/shonenjump. It will be linked in the description down below of the video in case you are missing it. No, this is not TCG Player, boys. This is the actual place to sign up for the Shonen Jumps. I'll actually give it to my stream chat now because we are doing this live on Twitch. So we got some participants here that helped me make this for you guys. So we were looking at cards that were going up and down, and of course, if you had your Spyral deck for YCS San Diego, F for respects, I feel for you, man. Already down to $19 here. They've already dipped the market price, almost looking like in anticipation of how low it might go. Super Agents out here at $11 from its market price of $16. It was already tanking as well in anticipation and fear that this would not be a long-lived format. A lot of people already anticipated that perhaps after YCS San Diego the ban list would be dropping. I was anticipating that, but nope, no time at all. They've slammed the deck, and the prices, of course, are falling. But this deck's not dead. It's either going to be on its own with a lot of work. There's still huge combos for the deck. This deck still does a lot. So I wouldn't be completely throwing it in the garbage. I think we'll still see Spyral cards surface and bubble into some top cuts. We see it over here as low as $10 on eBay, though. Let's look at Double Helix too. So eBay, the fallout is way worse, but let's look up Double Helix and see where he's fallen to. Actually, I think I have him out already. Yeah, $20 over here. So not quite as bad as the fall here, but it's just back and forth all day. You might see these continue to drop. This might drop to a point of 15 and then 12. You might see Super Agent go back to its $8 price point of its original hype. You remember when Super Agents were $2 and when they got hyped they went to 8? We might be looking at an $8 Carterino again here. So this is kind of the obvious part of Market Watch. Spirals are falling, spirals are falling. A lot of you guys are really happy with this news. Maybe you're finally going to get the deck and try to make it competitive once again. Maybe you'll be finding ways to do that, but I do expect to see it in the future top cuts here. Next up, Evenly Matched is going on up. I think it was safe to say if Spirals got hit, we knew this would happen, but actually, it even got a buff by the ban list. Oh man, you're asking me how? After I've been ranting about it all day. Set Rotation got hit to 1, which was a huge counter to this card. You would activate Set Rotation, give your opponent a card. They could no longer activate this going second at the end of battle phase, and they've wasted their battle phase if they entered it to try to use this. So Evenly Matched getting a buff. It might even go up from here. It's hard to imagine, but the other money card in the set, Double Helix, is gone. So Evenly Matched is kind of carrying Circuit Break at this point. We'll actually go look at Circuit Break as a whole after looking on eBay. Yep, it's up here too, around the $60 mark, hovering. So Evenly Matched is indeed kind of the card to hope they don't draw. Like, now do you go first or do you go second? Are you trying to activate this card? Are you trying to give it to your opponent as a brick and trying to go in on them through the battle phase? It's really rough. And let's look at Circuit Break. Borreload is next, which we'll actually talk about in a bit. And then the next is HoC, which might go up because of Grinder Golem one day. And This set is just kind of tanking as a whole, except for evenly matched. One thing went up, one thing went down, and I predict Spyral to actually go down. We'll talk about that in a second. Droll Lock Bird is chilling where it still was for the most part at its hype moments. We see that it's still hanging around that $29 mark for the supers, and not many of the rares. There's no rare below 23 here for a near mint, but we see near mint slash very light play. That's two different conditions. Before 24, why isn't it tanking? The format is changing, the sky is falling. Well, Trickstars are still gonna main 3 of this, and a lot of decks are still gonna side 3 for True Draco, which will be coming back to the forefront against Trickstars, because if they activate Terraforming, you've shut off their turn from getting a Candina searching, etc. There's a lot of good that Droll can still do in this format, be it from the side deck or even in the main with Trickstars to shut down your opponent. I do expect to see this trickle down slowly, but not really at a fast pace. So I do expect a downward movement from it. A lot of people do, but there's not a lot of quantities in the first place, and a lot of duelists are still going to want to keep this as an option rather than hawking them off just because of the ban list. Speaking of Trickstars, not really any movement in this camp. 1750, that's about where this was. Candinas are super cheap, Light Stage are super cheap. I predict this to be a top 4 deck still. It still plays hand traps fluidly, it still does what it does consistently, and it can cheese, remove your opponent hands, do 5,000 damage all in one gulp, and start attacking direct for thousands. I would not discount Trickstars at all. If you're considering picking it up, this is one of the cheapest points it will be at, unless there's a hit. I don't see Reincarnation really falling under $15 for how broken it is. So, something to consider. I think it can only go up from here. You know, oh, actually, these are $3. Okay, I didn't know. Okay, that's my bad, boys. And then the Light Sages are $2. So it's still a relatively cheap deck. You know, a set of these under 10, a set of these around 5s, a set of these around 45, and you've kind of got the expensive part of your decks outside of, Droll Locks. So you might have already had these from the format. If you were playing Spyrals, you probably did have these, and the transition over is really cheap and easy. If you didn't already have these, you're not quite looking at a budget pickup like I was talking about. Firewall falls even further. Basically, all the Spyral players who were expecting to slam Firewalls out on the field are slamming them out into the market. And that's why it's falling cheaper even faster. I was thinking it would hang at the 40 point. Nope, there's a ban list today, and there it's starting to fall. People are just hawking them off because they know a reprint's inevitable one day. There's already an alter art in Japan, fastest ever alter art. It's bound to be the Ace Monster reprinted somewhere. So a lot of people hopping off the train. They might be hopping back on later should it, you know, become prevalent and continuously do its thing with Firewall loops in the meta. But the deck that did it best is kind of taking a back seat. Spyrals there. And we see on eBay, it falls to a point of near mint 37 as well. It's just continuing to trend downward throughout the day. Maybe we'll see it fall all the way to 30. I mean, that would be the point where I would start considering, all right, if I don't have a set, I would think I'd be getting a set. Droll Dragon, the same kind of mentality is why I think it will go down. It's kind of a one of, maybe a two of, maybe, and a lot of Spyral players only played it because they were playing Spyral. So I expect to see a lot of these hitting the market as well, but maybe not as en masse because it's a one of instead of a 2 to 3 of. But I do expect to see this price maybe trickle down to 20 and then 18. It's so good. It's an amazing card. It is prevalent in the anime, and that's kind of what's keeping its price up. Those two factors of combination. And we see it's actually still at 28 over here lowest, but 26 here. And something just random, they brought up, have any Magic Bullet cards spiked? Well, the lowest over here is 75 for a TP Toon Table. You see the normal price of 53. So getting a set of these is extremely difficult, extremely high. If you're actually planning to run this in your Magic Bullets, you know, trigger them, trigger them, trigger them. It's a good card to do that with. And we see over here there's a Spanish near mint at that market price 55 before it's 65 on eBay, and then 70 So it looks like this guy's got quite a few. It says look, so let's make sure this is an actual auction that I'm selling you. Yep. He just has 10 of them. Why not? Wow, loot sellers, you got some loot for these people. So there is a pretty big line under the TCG player mark, but it's just an ancient card that sees some viability and a potential meta, and that's what's got it up really high. You have plenty of cheap versions in the commons for about $3, but you meet that collectability and playability match point, and that's why it's up. Another card to consider getting now might be Super Terraformings with those set rotation sets. A lot of people call this just ugly. They hate the ultimate rare. They don't like how the ultimate rare looks, and the supers have always been pretty. They've sat around 18 to 20 before, so something to consider getting now might be your Super Terraformings if you've been sleeping on them and you want to hollow out your deck. All other versions still sitting at that $1 to $2 mark. So you don't have to rush out and hollow out your deck, but if you're planning on a deck with field spells and you want to hollow it out, now would be the time to jump on this. $10, $10.50, $11. It's even cheaper on eBay. So it seems to be, you know, only 22 total prices over here and only 28 on eBay, but there are cheaper listings on eBay should you want yours. And finally, a random note, just something from the stream. They said look up Golden Bamboo Sword is expensive. It's where it's been sitting, actually even under its market price. But I did not know that the new one was a short print. And bamboo swords tend to go up over time when they are short printed or not easy to get from the old sets. So you see how this is sitting at a market price of $2.55. Somebody said in Europe these are like £7 or something ridiculous. So just something to consider. Perhaps keeping and picking out a bulkier place. It's not rushing out and buying them unless for whatever reason you don't have, but just picking these out of bulk and keeping them to the side. It's common sense. So there you have the market watch of the day. Do remember, if you want your $5 off here, you got just 3 days. November 3rd, I believe this ends. Promo code SJDVDBR16, trying to save you guys some money. I don't get anything out of this. I'm just trying to help you guys. But definitely save yourself $5 buccarinos if you're trying to get those Shonen Jump promos. Thanks for watching and thanks for joining live Twitch chat.